everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a video on our NSX sitting behind me. And this video is going to go into detail about this product that I made right here to work on your engine bay. So anybody who owns an NSX knows that there's a premium attached to any NSX product, whether it be parts or whether it be accessories for the car. You end up having to spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars for what is otherwise a fairly inexpensive part. And it's no different when we talk about the service blanket. The service blanket on the NSX can range anywhere from about $375 to $450 without shipping. So that seems like a lot of money for what is otherwise just a protective layer between yourself and the car. So I devised a fairly simple, inexpensive DIY service blanket that you can make on your own for about $20. So we'll go ahead and go into that. But one of the things that we know that we can't do with an NSX is basically use any magnets, right? Because it's an aluminum body, nothing attaches to it. If it had steel components, we could easily attach a fairly inexpensive fender guard to it, and we could just do it in 3 pieces and be done with it for probably less than 50 bucks. But we have to become a little bit of a MacGyver here when we talk about making a service blanket so that it stays in place while you're working on the car and doesn't use magnets. So we're going to go into how we made this, how you can make this too in probably less than 30 minutes and for less than $20. So let's go ahead and get into the video. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about what this product is and where I got it from. So this is a storage blanket or a shipping blanket, however which way you want to call it, and I got it from Harbor Freight for about 20 bucks. Now these do go on sale and you can probably get them less for about $12 to $13 if you're an Inside Track member or when they go on sale occasionally. But full price is about 20 bucks, so if you're looking for a DIY solution in a hurry, only 20 bucks. Now, the material itself is pretty abrasion resistant, so you can slide it and obviously it won't mar the paint too much. Now, it doesn't have a microfiber, element to it underneath, preventing it from being scratched. So if you really wanted to, I'm sure if you grinded it down into the paint, it would probably leave some marring. And if you want to take a look at the product itself, we can see here that it's a double layered with a little bit of a foam or a material inside of it to add a little bit of padding. Now, will this do the same thing as the service blanket that you can get for $450? Absolutely not. That's designed for durability. It's obviously designed to have some impact resistance beyond this material. But when we talk about the value of what we have here versus the value of a service blanket, you start to realize that maybe I could get like 2 or 3 of these and double up and probably be in the same ballpark as far as protection without spending a ton of money. Now, this product is really easy to work with. And what I mean by that is you can cut it in whichever way you want fairly easily with just some sharp shears. This product has some nice double stitching on the edge to have that durability. And obviously you can contour it to however which way you like. So I have a little bit more protection on this side, a little bit less protection on that side. And you can do it a little bit however which way you want to. You can adjust it. Now it will provide some impact resistance. It will provide some, scratch resistance. And you can make it however which way you want. And what I mean by that is you can see we've got full protection on the back and we've got full protection on the sides, whereas the service blanket really just stops about here. And then all of this is exposed. So I wanted to do it this way because it also gives you walk-by protection. So if I walk by like this, I'm going to be protecting the car on both sides. And I'm not touching the paint, I'm touching the blanket. And we can make it so that it contours around the wheel arches to give you that fender protection, but allows you to work on the wheels or the drivetrain. Now, the biggest issue is obviously making sure that it doesn't slide around because there's nothing really holding it in place and you can't use magnets. So what I ended up doing was following the double stitching here and using this as a loop. This will tuck in and it goes up against the structure and not the glass so much. So this structure will keep it from, falling on the sides. You can see I'm pulling it here and it's really not going anywhere. As well as if I pull it this way, it doesn't really go anywhere. It lifts up a little bit because it's not strictly attached here, but it also provides some protection on the sides here because I went ahead and cut the fabric so that it gave me that extra protection. And we have it all the way across the back. Now, if I wanted to, I could tuck this in and that would give me a little bit more. I could even probably clamp it onto this edge if I wanted to, using like some basic binder clips, something of that nature. And it would just basically tuck it in here, giving me protection and allowing me to make sure that it doesn't slide. But honestly, it doesn't slide. It goes right back in. So I pull down on it and it stays in place pretty well. So let's go into how I went ahead and did this portion right here so that it looks so good. What I did was I measured from here to the other edge where I wanted it to fall. And it was almost a perfect 60 inches. So what I did was I folded the blanket in half, cut 30 inches in, and then that unfolded into 60 inches, and then I was able to loop it over the back here. And as it was kind of falling down across the glass and across the back, I used this as like a center line so that I could cut down the blanket and start to expose the engine. And I basically just went around this way and I went around that way, using this as my inner way into it. That way I made sure that I knew where the end was, so I wanted it to stop right about here. That way I have some protection against this little plastic piece. So now I'm protecting that. So I went to about there, and then I was able to contour it in by just following along with my hand and using my shears with my hand as a guide. That was how I was able to accomplish that. And now I can drape over the back, and I've got protection on that side as well. Now, when we came down to the wheels, what I did was I looked for where it was falling and then cut a line in and then used my hand again as a guide going around. Now, obviously it's not perfect because as you're cutting, you're kind of cutting in and trying to move your hand as a guide around. So you could clean that up a little bit from what you see here, make it a perfect arch, but precision isn't really what we're looking for. We're just looking for protection. And then here, I wanted to follow the body lines a little bit and not have it drape down so much because it'll hang onto the floor. And so I wanted to be able to get underneath, work on the exhaust, and then pop back up, work on the top, etc. Allows me the flexibility. And then I just follow the contour of the body. So like I said, this is $20 at Harbor Freight. It's 144 inches across and it's 80 inches deep. So it's the biggest one that they have. When I was looking at some of the smaller ones, like the next size down, it didn't really seem like it was going to give me the full protection I wanted. And we even tried to position this so that it was 80 inches this way, and then 140 inches this way and 80 inches across. But it ended up working best with 140 across and 80 inches deep. So that's how I went ahead and made this. And obviously it's not chemical resistant, so it will probably absorb some fluids, but honestly, you shouldn't have too many fluids up on the top here anyways. And if I ever needed to, I could use this as a template and go back to the store and make another $20 purchase and then cut it exactly like this. So there you are. For 20 bucks at Harbor Freight, you too can make yourself an NSX service blanket and avoid spending $450. So hope you liked this video. Hope you enjoyed going over how to make this, and we'll see you on the next one.